All right, folks, welcome back to OG DIY. I'm out here near the pool equipment. Bit of a windy day, but I wanted to show you guys the time is right for me to make the exchange on the filters for the pool. So you can do this about once a month. You can do it about once a quarter. You can do it as you sort of observe quality of the water in your pool. I recommend monthly is a lot. I recommend quarterly. And to do it, you need 4 of these, in my case, in my configuration, that can go into rotation, right? So when you take these out and clean them, you don't put them right back in. You dry them out and put them in the garage, and you put the fresh ones in, and just have a constant rotation. I like doing it that way because I feel like I'm drying these out and getting them clean and letting the rotated ones do the big work that needs to be done to keep the pool clean. So very simple tools involved. I use a crescent wrench and a rubber hammer, and that's it. Outside of, you need a hose with a pretty good end on it to clean all of the gunk and the dirt out. So in my case, I got a few dogs, and a few of them like to swim. So they're German Shepherds, and they drop hair in the pool. So when I pull the cover off, the filter cover, you're going to see that I got dog hair in there. So the skimmers work. They pull in a lot of dog hair. The robotic cleaner pulls in dog hair, but can't get it all. So it's time on OG DIY to change the pool filter. This is a Pentair system, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn the pool off. And then we're going to drain it, and then take the top of the pool filter container off in order to get at the filters. So this is, in my estimation, a money saver. We were in one situation where I had to hire this out, and it was like a couple $100s. It may have gone up in price by now, but a couple $100 one time will easily buy you a set of filters. In fact, you can get them cheaper than that. And then it's just your labor. So this is, in fact, a money saver if you so choose to do it yourself. So let me show you how I do my filter exchange. Let's get after it. There, buddy. What you doing? All right, as I said, we're going to get access here to the pool equipment, and we're going to go mode, which turns it to service on my panel here. That allows you to do work on the system. So we got it in service mode. And now it's simply a matter of draining the filter holder, and I'll show you how to do that. So it's inevitable you're going to get air in the whole system. So I just take a proactive step here and unloosen things and allow it to drain. So that's the tab holder where tabs go in. This is the filter pump, and I'm going to take the skimmer out of there and change that. And then also on top of your unit, you can just let the air in, and now you can see the system backing up, right? See the water let loose. That's okay. Apologize for the air conditioning noise, but it'll probably kick on and off. So here's your crescent wrench. Go in here and find the right setting for that. That's about right there. And then we're gonna, I always go the wrong way here. Go. I'm going to unloosen this, or I should say loosen it, and then you're going to see a whole bunch of water come flying out of here. At some point you can get your hands in there. Here comes the water. Glad I got my flip-flops on. And that's pretty dirty water. Tell you how dirty it is. Look at the sludge that's in there. So I was due for a change for sure. And it's just a lovely thing to have dogs because that was mainly soil, because they like to eat soil. And then, Rafa, get up. Don't roll in it, dog. So now I've got that emptied out, right? It's hard to see, but maybe you can see it here better. I got all that cleaned out and emptied out, which is what you want to do. Okay, so we've drained the filter holder, and with the same crescent wrench, we're gonna take this band off of here because that holds the top on, and you need that removed to get at the filters. And most of the modern pool equipment these days has some instructions, like for example right here on how tight you're supposed to put this. It's written right on the side of this, and I'll explain it as I move along here. And I put the clean filters in, and I put this back on. Trying to avoid from dropping everything, because I've done that before and I've lost a washer in the dirt. It took me longer than I wanted to find it. It's a really long screw or nut, as it were. All right, so all that we're going to put down here, and then I use this. I just put it in here to loosen this up. All right, so we're loose. Well, we're not all the way loose. Just going around the back, doing the same thing with the crescent wrench. All right, so we got that out of the way. All right, so this will come in handy when we do the reinstall. Don't need it now, but we do need to do is just reach around with both hands and pull this up, and that'll reveal your dirty filters, and they are dirty. So I put my filter cover on my trash can. Simple place for me to put it. And once again, the crescent wrench comes in very handy. In my mind, this whole thing is easily done with a crescent wrench. Scoochie pooch. So you see this little gap? There's a little gap here in this holder. I just put the crescent wrench up under there, and it comes off. You can see, right, we got more dirt down in there, and we're going to spray all that out, spraying it the opposite direction to get all this out of here. And that's the hose work that'll need to be done, which is significant. And then these babies, well, they're just heavy because they're wet. So if you need to grab some help, you can do that. And it is a mess in there. Whew. I was telling you about the dog hair. Take a look at this. Is that nasty or what? And these filters probably are just past 3 months getting changed. Now, the dogs tend to be quite active in the spring and summer, and that's why we got a little bit of a mess on our hands. Probably have to kick up my frequency of changing these. But anyway, I'm going to pull these out, and then I'm going to show you the cleanup process. They're a bit heavy. Loaded with dirt and water. And I need to bring a hose in here too, because we're going to spray some of this dirt out that's in the container, which I'm talking about the filter container itself. There's actually hair and dirt down in the bottom of it that we can get out of there just by spraying it out. This will be fun. Take a look at this. Nasty. That's what happens when you got swimming dogs with dirty paws. Should be a song, country western song. Feels a little bit like a Mike Rowe job, dirty job. Not too bad. I think Mike Rowe's done worse than this in terms of his cleanup jobs. All right, that's all it was, and I'm going to take a hose and blast it through here and clean it up. All right, we got our hose. And it's just a simple clean out job. The screw on the bottom is still out, so we're just rinsing everything out of there that we can. No need to start over with dirt in here. Doesn't take long, that's done. And I'm actually going to start putting in the clean filters, and I'll show you the filter clean out process towards the end of the video, just because we can get this thing in while we're here. Now, one of the things I remember, or I don't remember, one of the things I do is the writing on the filter I always have up. So you could look at these and go, what size should, what direction should these be? And it just always made sense to me, the pool writing, the writing on the filter, you should be able to read it. So that's up for me. And then you just put it in there until it's sort of seated. There's a cup inside here, and you push it down in there. That's it, that's pretty good. And Scoochie pooch. All right, those 4 are in. Now we need to clean the top. All right, so the goal is to get this cleaned up. Shoot some down in there so we get this off. Hair off the top of that. That's a little filter screen as well. It goes on the PV side, the PV pipe that's in the middle of the filter array. And you'll see that when I push this back on there. That's pretty clean. Yeah. Made a perfect mess here. That's good. But it's clean. All right, so let's install this. And you've got the same 4 cups. The holes, these cups are the same as what's on the bottom. So you can feel, at least in my system, once you get them seated in there. Didn't quite get all the junk out of that. Okay. So now we can get the filter top. If you got all your stuff in the right place and you got your kids or your creatures, your dogs out of the way. Let's see, I like to aim this a certain way when I put it back on. You can do this pretty quickly. So we're, what's quickly? I'm talking about, like, 30 minutes if you're really efficient. You can do a filter change in about 30 minutes. All right, so now we're gonna put the hub, I call it a hub. We're gonna put the band, which is the enclosure for this. It's like reminds me of an old, I don't know, like Model A wheel. It's interesting. wagon wheel. So it sometimes can be a bit precarious. First few times I did it, it kept falling apart on me. Pretty soon you learn how to just hold onto the pieces at the same time. So I've got my hands on both sides here. I'm going to take that same chunk of screws and the spring washer. This is a spring as well. Right in the middle here is a spring, which is described on the side of this. And they want you to tighten it up to the point where each one of these circles on the spring just touches one another. So I'm going to show you what that looks like when they're apart, and then after I've gotten it tightened up. So let me see if I can get you in there so you can see what I'm talking about. So there are gaps in here, right? They're not touching. So when we tighten it up, these are all going to be touching. And the other thing you can do is if it's not quite tight enough and it's leaking a little bit, well, just tighten it up a little bit more. And if you got a problem, it's like a big leak, sometimes you can there's a little rubber gasket on the inside of this, and that's connecting these two pieces, these two halves. And sometimes it's happened to me once where I accidentally rolled the rubber gasket out. So I had all this tightened up and I had quite a little dribble coming down when I turned it back on. So I simply turned it off again, started the process over, found that I had a misaligned gasket, and fixed it. It's not the end of the world. Not a tragedy. So I've tightened it to a certain spot and I've gotten some resistance, which is where you need to start using your mallet. You don't need to hit it hard, but I start over on this far side from me, and I'm simply putting some mallet shots in here to bring it in a little tighter. Not too hard. And that'll allow, this will be loose again. See how loose that is? It was almost tight when I went away. Tightened it quite a bit till it stops. So now I'm seeing this screw start to emerge through here, and I'm gonna see it's getting tight again. But I'm not close enough to having these springs touch yet, so I'm gonna mallet it again. Doesn't take a lot. You don't want to crack it. It's fiberglass, so you don't need to hit too hard. Yep, I got some. That gave me a lot more improvement. This got loose again. So I'm now getting to a point where I'm getting close to that wound spring material, the wound spring steel is starting to touch. And I'm going to show that to you. Let's see, not quite there yet. Yeah, that's a good one. I can show you that one. So I may tighten it up a little bit more when I turn it on. I don't like to over tighten things. Got a lot of bad experience over tightening things too much. So you can see here now, these pieces of steel are touching one another. So that is success in my book. So I'm going to clean out the filters and close things up, and I'm going to start this filter back up. Clean this out. What you doing, Kenai? All right, cleaned out the filter pump screen. This is a good opportunity as any to put in some of the the tabs in the tab holder. I usually keep about 2 or 3 of those in there at a time. In addition to, I got a floater in the pool that I keep tabs in. And this, we should be ready to go. Oh, nope, we aren't ready to go. Good thing we caught that. That has to go in. That's the plug to the filter. That was almost a mistake. I would have just wasted a bunch of water before I discovered that one. Pretty silly. All right. Let me get my... This one has a rubber gasket around the plug, and it doesn't need to be super tight. And again, you can tighten it later if you get a leak, but don't over tighten things in fiberglass containers. It can be kind of a mess, particularly if you accidentally strip it, overdo it. Bad things come of that. All right, let us turn on the filter. Sometimes it takes a little priming. We're going to take it off of service mode, put it into auto. And this might take a couple of times to prime. Let's see. Because this whole thing has to fill back up. That's quite a bit of water to move through here, particularly when there's been a lot of air in the system. So I tend to always look at the filter pump to see if I've got water starting to build. And I don't yet. And when I do get enough water building through there and I see pressure building, then I'll release air out of it to help get the air out of the system. Now, here we go. Got some water building. I bet we're gonna have pressure here soon. Yep, it's climbing. I'm gonna let the air out. Sometimes that kills it right there, and the priming stops, but it hasn't yet. There's a lot of air in the system. There we go. All right. So I'll open this up just to make sure this releases air and pressure out of here. And then it fills up completely with water. It's almost full. It's full. There we go. It's full. So my tab holder is full of water. Not much air here. And I see if I can release a little bit more air here. Nope. It's pretty good. I think the rest of the process will be done through the jets in the pool. That's it. That's the filter change. Next is we got to clean those bad boys. I can see the pool is up and running, and I got some good water flow through the jets. That's good. And now we got to clean this nastiness up. No judge on the lawn. Need to get it mowed. Dogs do a tough run on it. It's tough to keep it in decent shape. But anyway, I'm gonna grab the hose and we'll get this job going. All right, I got the hose. I'm gonna warn you all, I got the dogs out and they love the hose. So I may have limited success here. We'll see what happens. But what you do, Kenai, Rafa, all right, enough. All right, dude. See, it's already turning white. Well, you can't see it because the dog's in the way. Raphael. You're gonna choke yourself. Kenai, you coming in for some? So I go all the way, take it all the way down, clean all. Dude, hey, you're making me wet. All right, back it up. Stay. So when you do this, you can see dirt flowing out of here. See how this is white already, or sort of white? This takes a while. I'm going to say it's a good 10 minutes per filter, and my yard needs watered, so I'm not too worried about that. So it's about 10 minutes per filter. I'm going to work on this without losing it, with the dogs having fun and all that stuff. And I'll come back and show you what a cleaned up one looks like. I may have to lift them up off the ground. Dude, hey, Rafa. Yeah, see, you're not gonna let me do it, are you? What if I outsmart you? Then you're just gonna jump on me. Dude, that's, hey. At some point, you're gonna get tired out, old man. And this process is how, when we had the pool put in, it's how they showed us how to clean the filters from the very beginning. So if you got another way to do it, let me know, but this is the only way I know. And again, like I said, this is a $200+ job from your local pool company, and they'll do a nice job. But for me, spend a little time out in the backyard with my dogs, keeps them from hanging on the couch, laying on the floor in the air-conditioned house. They can get out here and burn a few calories along with me, and I can save that $200 and use it for something else. This one's almost done. Well, almost. Got a lot of dirt in here, so doesn't take too long though. You get an eye for where the dirt is and try to shoot for that. And I put this on sort of a fan mode. Seems like it does a decent job that way. You guys tire out? Well, looks like this hairless monkey outsmarted you. Canines. What do you think of that? Outsmarted you canines. Although you guys are having fun. Okay, that one's pretty far along. I'm going to put it out in the sun and start on the next one. Look at that guy over there. He won on the ground game. Along with that one, she won. He definitely won on the ground game. Every time I brought the filter down to the ground, I was the loser. Nice job, Rafa. So I got this final one to do. I got to take it out front because the dogs are after it. Those are sunning. They're going to dry out, and they'll be a good shape to put up in the garage here in about 2 or 3 hours. All right, so outside of hand-to-paw combat, I recommend just finding a spot in your grass, which is what I was trying to do in the back, where you can take advantage of the water you're using and get your cleaning done at the same time. All right, gang, how much fun was that? Definitely a job that belongs on OG DIY. We got one drying here, only because my furry friends chased me out of the backyard. Literally 2 tools, a mallet, rubber mallet, and a crescent wrench. And you can get it done in about 45 minutes. So 30 to 45, depending on if you get dogs back there who are helping out, as it were. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. This is absolutely a DIY moment. You can save some money, a bucket of money, if you choose to do it yourself. No judgment against those folks who want to pay the juice and have a service come in. Just for me, in the times we're living in, saving a dime, a dollar, $100 is important to me. So hopefully this helped you all and educated you a bit, gave you some entertainment. Just know that there's more OG DIY videos coming. Thanks for being with me. Be good. Bye-bye.